This program is brought to you by the Media Liberty Alliance Foundation in cooperation with OBBM Network TV, bringing citizen-led, creative local media to the forefront of local communities to foster a greater understanding of constitutional liberty and appreciation of what makes us truly free, starting with you and me.
Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That way you're updated each time fresh content comes out. And thank you for being part of the Zach Rateliff Show.
The Zach Rateliff Show is brought to you by Mortgage Financial in Texarkana, Exceed Health Clinic on Mall Drive in Texarkana, Elmwood Custom Goods, and Church on the Rock, Texarkana. That's churchontherock.org.
A school board in Houston got pushback for allegedly allowing books in libraries that are pornographic. At a board meeting, a woman read a library book called A Court of Silver Flames. It was so sexually graphic, she was warned that she was violating meeting decorum and was escorted out by police. How can a book that offends adult standards of decency be allowed in school libraries? I'm Pastor John Miller. Visit me at churchontherock.org.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining the show today. I just want you to know, for about the first 13 or 14 minutes of the show, we were having internet issues on recording, so the volume will be a little bit low. Correct volume picks up around the 14-minute mark and then carries on through the show. So that's what you get with technology. That's the way it works.
Technology.
And anyway, I appreciate you all being part of the Zach Rateliff Show, and enjoy the podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Zach Rateliff Show. I'm Zach. It's my friend Brian. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? How you been?
Man, I'm good. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
I want to start off by saying thank God for another day. Thank God for another day alive. And just, man, I try to give him thanks every chance I get.
Yeah. It's a beautiful day, too.
Oh, it is beautiful. You know, like we were just saying, oftentimes I wish, I try to make these conversations when people come in as real as possible. And that's why there's not much editing that happens. That's why it gets flow. But a lot of what happens is the conversation before, and if there's a break, the conversation during the break, and the conversation after. So we're just going to try to create that and do it. So let you give just kind of who you are, just a bio, maybe your elevator introduction of
Okay.
I'm Brian Barr, and
Yeah.
I support this message.
All right, yeah, sure. Brian Barr, born and raised here in Texarkana. My wife and I moved away to Northwest Arkansas in 2010, and we lived in Fayetteville for 8 years, and then moved back home. So the healthcare industry has been the industry that I've been in most of my career.
Former Old Wire Road resident here.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So the healthcare industry took us up to Northwest Arkansas.
Okay.
And, then, times changed, and we decided to come back on.
Yeah.
So we're back here, and now working for Heritage Home Health and Hospice as Chief Business Development Officer, and
Nice.
have a roofing company, and really have found my love for baseball again since I've been here. And when we moved to Northwest Arkansas, we just had our daughter, and I was focused on the corporate grind at that point.
Yeah.
And
How old are your kids?
Brixton is 15 and Boston is 11.
Okay.
So Brixton's about to be 16.
Oh,
When it comes to
man.
that. Yeah. So
She give mama's car?
she is. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just spent quite a bit of money getting that thing fixed up.
Yeah.
But we're good now.
Okay.
So when Boston came along, it kind of rekindled that fire of baseball. And then when we moved back here, we got into the T-ball scene, and I sat on the sidelines for T-ball and let old Travis Jackson take care of that.
Okay. Shout out.
Yeah. So a baseball
Guy who still hadn't come in here for the show. What's up with that?
I'll
Joker.
talk to him.
Yeah, make it happen.
Yeah. So while I'm introducing myself, funny story. Baseball guy, been playing baseball forever.
Yeah.
And we come back to Texarkana, and Boston's first T-ball game hits the ball, runs to third base.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my kid.
Yeah.
I haven't taught him any of that yet. But anyway, after that, I helped Travis coach a little bit in baseball. And then from there, like I said, it's kind of rekindled my fire for baseball and youth sports, and have thoroughly enjoyed coaching these kids. I mean,
Right.
if you would have told me 8 years ago that I would enjoy coaching kids and teaching them the game of baseball,
Yeah.
you're like, no, I'm past that. You know,
I'm
I'm
done
kind
with
of
that.
past that in life, and man, it's just built to fire in me.
Well, you know, you as, you know, I don't like the term former athlete, because once you're an athlete, you can usually put back. But you as an athlete, supposedly.
Yeah. Supposedly, yeah.
And me as having been an athlete, supposedly. When you grow up in that culture, you respect what it teaches you.
Yeah.
Just kind of like my buddy Chris Marshall died
Mhm.
last month,
Yeah.
and you know, funeral was 3.5 hours from here. 15 guys that played with him at Texas High show up to the funeral because his mom and dad asked us to, or expected us to, I think. And you know, there were a couple guys that played college football. There's one guy that played in the NFL there. There were you know, but everybody, Texas High was awesome and gave us all our number of our jersey, which we couldn't fit in. But you know, and then we wore our state rings and went up there, and there's a kinship that you understand that is built through sports. There's a, you know, in this little country church and outside of Fort Smith, Arkansas, you know, they weren't expecting the Texas High O2 football team to walk in there. I promise you that.
Right.
And but there's a respect that's built. There's a respect for everybody's family that's there. One of our other buddies, and I'll let you make your introduction. One of our other buddies' dad died a couple months ago. Guys from the football team showed up, and everyone, you know, everybody knows to stand in line. Everybody knows what to do. We've done these things together our entire lives. So now it's just so that's what. And I think now, as older, now that you're coaching again, I would say you understood that as a kid. You understood that and what it brought you. But I have to imagine you can see the other side of training that now. Is that?
Yeah.
Am I speaking out of bounds?
No, not at all. And it does create a brotherhood.
Yeah.
And that brotherhood is something that we don't have to talk and text every day.
Yeah, that's right.
We don't have to talk and text for 3 or 4 years.
Right.
But if a brother I played college baseball with needed help, I'm going to go help.
Yeah.
You know, and it really does create that. And sorry. And it's just kind of like that unspoken thing.
Yeah.
There's never a time you're like, hey man, you're my brother. You know,
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that you've gone through so many trials and tribulations with your boys that if they need something or their family needs something, you're there. There's no questions asked. So yeah, that's a piece of the game that a lot of people don't see.
Right.
That just carries on all the way through. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, even like in our situation, we're sitting in this church, and one of the guys is up speaking, and just tears rolling down his face. You know how it is as men, as athletes. We're not going to talk about it. We're not. But so there's this little white lady sitting in the bench in front of us. One of the guys taps her on the shoulder, just points at the Kleenex. She hands it to him, passes it to me. We just pass it down the road, and by the time he comes, we hand them to him. He hands them back. Like I said, you're there for each other.
Right.
There's no need to talk about it.
Right.
That was all he needed to know, that we were there for him,
Yeah.
that it wasn't a big deal, but it's that kinship that comes from, and for us, we all started playing together like second grade,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like third, fourth, you know, with every tournament you ever came through.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny you say this because I just had a conversation with my boys, and by the way, I coach an 11U baseball team.
Okay.
So when I say my boys,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
11 years old. I told them, I said, we're having I don't want to say a bad season. We're not having a bad season at all. I don't know if you can say there's such things as a bad season in 11U baseball.
Right. But if you're playing, it can feel that way.
Right, exactly. Well, your boys are going out there playing hard and you're losing.
Yeah.
It's like, man, is that? But again, that doesn't define a good or bad season. But we come off of I think we actually won this game, but we come from behind, and I felt we should have played better from the beginning. But I tell them, I'm like, you guys are out here playing for the guy that's standing to the left and right of you.
That's right.
You're not playing for me. You're not playing for mom. You're not playing for dad.
Right.
I said, you're playing for your boys.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get them to understand, in the business world, you have team building activities.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have team building activities. Where you build the brotherhood is walking through the trenches with one another.
Yeah.
Right? That's where that comes. I remember at Texarkana College when I played there, I was under Matt Deggs, and phenomenal baseball mind. But when I tell you he was hard, he was hard. So we had to, sorry.
No. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
So being under Coach Deggs, he was difficult, and a lot of things that we went through as a team, we built that brotherhood. We had to help each other. We had to encourage each other, and the next thing you know, there's this tight bond that you have. So it's getting the kids to understand at a very young age that I learned, at probably in high school.
Right.
But getting them to learn that now, I'm like, you're that many years ahead of where I was in understanding the game and understanding what it means.
Well, that's one thing we were talking about. Oh, that's what it was. That's one thing that we were all talking about as we stood outside that funeral, or then we're in another funeral, or we've got another teammate that family member just died, and we've all been kind of talk about that and what to do, and we're all getting together tomorrow, just as a group, because it kind of brought us all back together, and is, like I said, we started playing together so early, and our team was so good so early. When you're playing tackle football as third grade, it's not really a big deal because you're not hitting each other hard. You don't get hurt, But then when you start winning tournaments in Dallas and then Little Rock and then Shreveport, and then the next thing you know, you get to 7th grade, and all the 8th graders because they're with you. Then they win a district championship, and you win a district championship, and they're in 10th grade, and you're in 9th grade, and then next thing you know, you're winning state championships in Texas, and then it just builds, and you watch your. I had 2 guys I played at the University of Arkansas. I had 1 guy play at the University of Texas. And then, when one of them goes on to play in the NFL, I could go to the Cowboys games that they're going to play and yell his legal name from the sidelines, and he come talk, and then, and so there's that whole thing. But yeah, it's learning that young, right? And then even for like one of our high school reunions, I just had my 20-year reunion a couple of years ago. And so I guess maybe it was my 10-year reunion. It was either that or my 30th birthday. I can't remember which one it was. One of my other buddies' wives, and she's a trip. She's hilarious. She comes out of one of the bedrooms of my house. It's like 2 a.m. We're having a great time, and she starts cleaning up. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm like, we're not close to going to bed." And she goes, "There is a giant black man that I'm pretty sure plays in the NFL asleep on your couch." I'm like, "Don't give him a minute. He'll wake up. We're gonna be good." But that's, everybody knows everybody. Everybody's parents know everybody. So that's the brothership you're talking about, and that's what I think people miss from, if they're not in sports, or if they're not in, or even whatever you do. I did martial arts a lot of my life until I got hurt in my car wreck, and there's that. There's just things that connect you to people.
Yeah. And it's just, there's adversity that you face in sports. It doesn't matter if it's baseball or soccer or tennis or whatever it is.
And we all grew up playing the same thing. Who you played in the Boys and Girls Club League in basketball, and then you saw them on the baseball field, and then you saw them in soccer, and then, because remember, you were probably of the same age. We used to play at the Boys and Girls Club over in Beverly, and then we'd go down by the railroad tracks off of 9th Street.
I also remember Nathan Basher being a thorn in my side.
You guys were that just enough older to be there. But when we did Little League football, we had Adrian Peterson we had to play.
Oh yeah, well.
So the same thing that you had with Vasher, and he was in the Dallas tournaments and stuff. But we would run into it.
Yeah. Not to get off topic here, but obviously I haven't talked to Nathan Basher since high school probably, but
opposite teams, Texas versus Arkansas.
But you knew when that guy was on the field, we're in trouble. And when we were young playing soccer out at Spring Lake Park, Basher's playing soccer and can kick a soccer ball further than anybody on the field. Like, what can this dude not do? And one other story, if you don't mind me telling.
Dude, we got all day.
This is a funny one, and I can't remember if this was my junior year or senior year. So if Coach Burdon's listening, he may remember this.
I'll send it to him.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Coach Burdon or Coach Toombs. I had both of them. We go to Linden Kildare to play a 7-on-7 tournament. And one of our defensive guys...
So it's spring?
Right, yeah. One of our defensive guys wasn't there something... I was quarterback, and they needed a defensive player. So I can't remember if it was Coach Toombs or Coach Burdine, but they put me at middle linebacker. I'm like 7-on-7. Okay,
Yeah,
there's no tackle.
good,
I'm not going to hit anybody. I hated hitting people.
Said every quarterback ever.
I know, right?
We did have a quarterback in 9th grade that played defensive end too, which was
Oh wow, yeah. Well, so whoever it was, it may have been Coach Burdine. He said you got the first back out of the backfield. So I'm like, okay, great. Well,
Stick with him.
You know who the back was? Nathan Basher. He comes out of I still tell
All right, our internet dropped. So you're playing 7-on-7. You got the first back out of the backfield. It's Nathan Basher.
Yeah. Multi-sport athlete.
Yeah.
Right? And he comes
Does
out.
he still have the record in the NFL for longest return?
I don't know. Probably.
Yeah.
But man, he come out of the backfield. He went right. He went to my right. So I open my hips and go to the right. Next thing I know, he goes left. I can't go left that fast, and he's gone. Touchdown. And I to this day, it's like just to see how quick he was coming out of there. I couldn't imagine a defensive back or somebody trying to guard this guy in high school. So yeah, he was a tremendous athlete. But that's a good story with Nathan. And man, I got so many stories with Coach Burdine and the time at Arkansas High and all the sports we played there. So it's awesome.
All right. So that's funny dealing with Nathan and all that. And I don't, by the time I was in high school, because I graduated 2004. So by the time I was in high school, we'd be working out at Texas High in the barn, and he would come in when he was at UT, and he would hit the weights in the barn sometimes if we were in there and all that. And of course, then Nathan Jones is who I played with, who then went to play at University of Texas and all of that. And so anyway, you were the quarterback, but you played baseball, right? I mean, baseball was your
well, I mean, I enjoyed football, baseball, and basketball.
Right.
And if I were to pick one at that time, it would have been the sport that I was playing.
Yeah.
I mean, I really enjoyed all the sports that much.
Right.
So, but all of that kind of changed my junior year.
Okay.
Obviously, my good friend, best friend, Dustin Mosley, he was getting looked at as a big league pitcher. And my junior year, a scout was there watching Dustin and saw me throw.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, throw a bullpen after the game. And I'm like, oh, okay,
right.
At that point, I don't know if I knew what a bullpen was.
Yeah, right.
I mean, of course I did, but I go over there, I throw, and he's like, man, you're 89 to 91 miles an hour.
Right.
Great.
Yeah,
okay.
Good.
So from that kind of changed the game a little bit. Put me on the radar as a junior.
Yeah.
Throwing high 80s, low 90s in the baseball world. So. But I will say, in high school, the sport that I enjoyed the most was basketball.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just a small group of dudes.
Yeah.
Two of the guys I played with that were a lot of fun, Rodney Thrower and Antonio Burks.
Okay.
Both of those guys were they were hilarious.
Right.
And the bus rides and the fun on those. And God.
The bus rides are often overlooked.
Oh, man, yeah.
Even I threw on the track team, shot put, discus, and in 9th grade one time they needed somebody else for the 100. Mm-hmm. I'm like, put me in.
Let's do it.
And did it and ran and beat a dude.
Nice.
and I'm like, and coach even goes, that was points we weren't expecting. I'm like, you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. I got more of that.
Yeah, that's what you need from your defensive middle linebacker. You know,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Those bus rides. I mean, even through college. I went to Texarkana College in Southern Arkansas. We didn't have a jet waiting for us to go travel.
Right.
So much fun during those times. And like I said, that also helps with create that brotherhood.
Well, so what's that look like? I didn't. By the time I got hurt, look, and I'm short. I wasn't ever gonna. I might have kind of gone and played D3 or something like that. I hit football camps and worked out hard and ran hard, but DNA is what DNA is,
right,
and so also we can throw that into all this travel ball and stuff that people do here in a second if you want to.
Oh yeah,
everybody's kid's going to go be the next Babe Ruth, going to be the next Derek Jeter, and there's some expert. Luckily for me, my dad, he didn't go play, but he was, he had the opportunity to play for the University of Arkansas as a linebacker, and he has the look. Even at 59, 60 years old, he still got the look.
You don't lose it.
And so so growing up around that, to me, it was never any if you want to, now, if we're going to do it, we're going to be the best.
That's right. Yeah.
But he didn't want me to do it for him.
Yeah.
My mom was number 4 in the state of Arkansas in the 400. And she didn't want me to do it for her. She'd already been, my family had already been the best at what they did. So if I was going to do it, we wanted to be the best, but also do it because you want to be doing it.
That's right.
But we're not going to go halfway in it.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of that. And so I see some of that and all this, but and we'll get into that as we kind of, because I want to hit this youth stuff.
Absolutely.
But just kind of going into your story a little bit more. So you play Arkansas High, 3 sports.
Yeah.
Then you're going to college.
Yeah. Well, and really had no idea what I was going to do with college.
Right.
And Texarkana College came and said, "Hey, we want to pick you up and come play." And I got drafted my senior year of high school by the Chicago White Sox, and went to Texarkana College. That's when I was under Coach Matt Deggs and James Mansinger.
Okay.
And young. Didn't, when it comes to pitching, I had no idea what pitching was.
Right.
I knew how to throw. Texarkana College actually picked me up as an outfielder pitcher. So, I mean, I hit my freshman fall, I hit at TC. And it got to a point where scouts were like, "Hey, this guy has a better chance to go play pro ball as a pitcher.
Right.
So let's focus on that."
Okay.
So that's when I kind of shifted to pitcher. Then from there, went to Southern Arkansas University.
Yeah, down the road.
Yeah, just right down the road there in Magnolia, and then got drafted by the Cincinnati Reds my junior year. Didn't sign.
Yeah.
Just there's a lot that goes into that people don't realize.
Dude, talking to and here's what people that aren't from here will really, we're talking to. I say it every day probably, but we're talking to over 40 states, over 10 countries now listen to us. But our area, we have a lot of major athletes come out of here.
We do.
I mean, it's an amazing thing.
Yes.
And names that if we said you would be easily searchable.
That's right.
I mean, and we're not here just to drop names on everybody we know, but
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of athletes come out of this area.
A lot of athletes, yes, and that creates an environment where these other kids, they're competing against those athletes, so it makes the other athletes better.
Yeah,
right. So there's so much positive that comes out of that. But from there, I finished my senior year at Southern Arkansas University, and then went up and played in Canada for 2 years.
Right,
and enjoyed that. And then came back to Texarkana, started my real life, and that's when the Gunslingers came through.
Okay.
And some people may remember them. And it was
I got it.
Independent bus league.
Yeah.
And man, I had a lot of fun doing that. The Astros talked to me and wanted to sign me, and we never.
You know Cody White?
Yeah.
Okay, he's one of my good friends.
Yeah. So nothing ever worked out from there. And at that point, I'm like, okay, it's time to stop. We got to get life rolling.
Right.
And then the real things started happening.
Okay. Well, and it's funny that I bring him up because he listens to the show daily and he'll text me. So he's
nice.
like, I heard you say my name. So he's like, and so, but just hearing this, I'm like, I bet you know Cody.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. He was great too. Great athlete.
Yeah, no doubt. You ever tried to hit a wiffle ball off that guy?
Oh, there's no chance I can hit a wiffle ball. No chance. Or the blitz ball that these kids are playing now.
Oh, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Cody, funny thing about Cody, I can't tell the story.
Okay. Yeah. I like the pause. Let me think about it.
Yeah. No, it's about him. He eagled a par 5 in a golf tournament one day that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. But it was a glow in the dark tournament. I can give you this part.
So
it was a glow in the dark, and he hadn't been playing good at all. And we'd been on the river and all the things, and he just wasn't playing good.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, this dude comes up, and it's night and it's dark. We're going there, and he eagles a par 5, and we're like,
yeah.
He goes, I'm an athlete.
Aside of that a lot of people don't understand, especially for athletes that played at higher levels, there's a mental side of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, we figure that out at a young age, but you have to learn how to control that.
Yeah.
So there's been many a times on a golf course, I am not good at golf, but I'm like, I'm not this bad. So there's level of lock-in that you have to get to, that you can get to as an athlete, because you've been in those pressure situations.
That's right. There's a switch you know how to turn on and off.
And kind of flip it. Yeah, that's right.
So anyway, you get back from Gunslingers. You're doing this. How long does that go?
That was only 1 year.
Okay.
For that, and I was going to come back that second year, but just the team was moving on and things were happening.
Right.
I wasn't getting any younger.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of when the baseball thing stopped.
Okay, but a lot's learned in that. So
Oh my
so
gosh,
then
yes.
so then you start your career and
Yeah. Start the career at it was Health South Rehabilitation Hospital.
yeah,
Before that, I was working 2 jobs, UPS, Best Buy.
right.
I was on the 5-year college
I'm
program.
a former Best Buyer too.
Oh
Baby.
yeah. So I had to still finish college, although it was, basically paid for 4 years. I had to go finish it. And then once I graduated, we started working there, and then was promoted through and went to Fayetteville for 8 years, and
Okay,
now back here. So it's the fast track of it.
dude. I get that. I've moved away from here 6 times,
Wow.
5 or 6 times.
I did not know that.
And I don't see myself leaving again, especially at 40. I mean, it's home. It's home for my daughter now, and all the things. But and I told you this off air. I'm a homer. I'm a Texarkana apologist. I love it here. This is I and you've met me. I mean, it's not like I meet strangers very many places that I go.
no,
I can go and do, but this is home, and so I enjoy it. But I get the moving and I get the coming back, and it's always, every time you leave, it's different when you get back.
Oh yeah.
And there's always something you got to find out about it. So get into the career, and now you're doing what you do. So, but what I kind of wanted to get into with all this, and we've had a couple of internet problems, so this will be kind of clipped up, but is the coaching side of it, and you've hit on that, because here's my question. You grew up in ball. I grew up in ball. Most of my friends grew up in ball. And like I said, I didn't go to the levels that you did. Some of my friends did. Some of them didn't. But I played on some good high school teams, and I'm proud to have done that. And all that being said, though, there's so much pressure, it seems like now, with youth sports in certain levels. And I get some, but and I referenced it earlier, you'll hear people say, well, I had a friend say this. Well, when they go play in college, or I'm like, you realize only 10% of high school students get to go to college at any level and play any sport. That's not 10% go to D1. That's 10% go to any college level and play. And then you realize from there, 1% or less go to any level of professional sports, not the NFL, not the MLB, any level of professional sports. So sometimes, this is just looking from the outside in, sometimes I feel like, man, we're putting a lot of pressure on these kids.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
am I barking up a tree?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, the issue is it's the people you're talking about are the parents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the kids.
No,
they're
the kids. You ask a kid that loves the game of baseball what they want to do when they grow up.
Baseball.
I want to go play pro baseball.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Nothing. I was that kid.
No, I had dreams of playing on the defense wherever I could play.
Right,
Because I loved to punish people. I wanted to hit you. I ran many times after practice in high school for that 15-yard late hit, because, baby, I was coming.
You're getting them,
And if you were a quarterback standing back there, that's your fault.
Yeah,
it's your fault you got hit late. You should have let go of that ball.
Oh, that's funny. But then you get the parents involved, and that's when things start getting a little sideways.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: the parents aren't necessarily to blame. It's the demand of travel baseball is excessive. All right. So you got parents that are under the pressure to make sure their kid has the right bat. Well,
what's a bat cost these days?
You're looking anywhere between $300 and $400.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they have a good glove. Now you bring in all the internet swag, the sliding mitts, the chains, the drip, all of that other stuff. Yeah. And now there's so much money and time that's invested in this. Now I'm giving my baby all of this stuff, and I'm expecting them to go do something big.
Right.
So, those lines then get blurred. The kid has this aspiration and dream to go play professional baseball or football or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then the parents can get kind of blinded.
Well, even league soccer's big now.
Oh yeah, huge.
Yeah, I mean,
and again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that as a parent, but we do have to have a realization that there's a high chance that our child's not going to go play a professional sport. The statistics support that.
99% chance.
Yes. So we
not
have
that
to,
somebody listening won't, because they will.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we have to kind of tame that and just enjoy it, enjoy the moment. And enjoy that our kids are out there. They have the health everything's working right. They're having fun. Now, when you talk about having fun and being competitive, now you start changing things up there because there's two sides of travel baseball. So,
well, and we'll get into some of that competitive stuff, but here's one thing I wanted to say. Yeah, I think you know this about me. For around a decade, I managed banks. I was a bank manager. I saw inside thousands of accounts. I know what people's spending habits are. I know, or at least I did. It's been not quite 10 years since I left, but it's been a while since I left. I know that not 70% of people, and this is going to shock some people listening, just because I can see what people listen, what they download the show through, and when the higher percentage of my audience downloads through iPhones. And so, that's a different market segment than someone that downloads through an Android or anyway. So some people this is going to shock. 70% of people can't find $2,000 if they had to outside of their bills.
Yeah.
Probably 90% can't find 2,000. 70% probably can't find 1,000. Half the people in the country can't come up with an extra $500, and I've been one of those. I mean, I'm not being disparaging,
absolutely.
But so when you're looking at all my bills are paid, I've got maybe $500 left over. Little Timmy's got to have the slide gloves. Little Timmy's got to have the bat, and we got to hit this tournament for here. Out in where are they doing a lot of them right now? Starts with a C, Colleyville. We got to go out to Colleyville. Yeah. We got to go out to Weatherford. We got to go hit these big. We got to go out to Graham, Texas, out by Possum Kingdom because they've got an awesome facility out there.
$4 a gallon for gas.
$4 a gallon for gas.
Yeah.
You're staying the night. You're eating. Well, we're going to eat anyway. Yeah, but you can make a sandwich at the house a lot cheaper than you can make a sandwich at Subway.
Yeah.
And we'll just put it on the credit card and we'll pay it off if we get that bonus. Or we'll figure it out. There are a lot of people, they're just taking a lot on. And I'm not trying to place judgment on this. I understand wanting, but man, that's a hell of a dream to be chasing.
Yeah.
On a credit card.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you add all of that pressure on top of a parent.
Yeah.
And now that pressure can subconsciously get sent down to the kids. So now that ride home, think about the ride home after.
Why'd you strike out?
Yeah.
How'd you miss that throw?
Right. And it's not, I'm not bad mouthing the parent, but there's so much pressure on the parent, which goes down to the child. When this game was created for these young boys and girls in softball, to have fun, to learn the game, to go compete, learn how to compete.
Yeah.
Brotherhood, sisterhood, all of that stuff is there, but we lose sight of that because there's so many other distractions that are in it.
That's exactly right. But you're right. Then you get back to this competitive side. Well, then that can drag over to the parents too, because you and I have talked about this many times before. Hey, are we going to, let's say we want to go play spades with somebody. I'm going to ask you if you're, hey, Zach, you want to come over and play spades with, bring somebody to come play spades with me and Amanda. Yeah, sure. Are we having fun or are we being competitive?
Yeah.
That to be a real question.
Fair question.
Because if we're having fun, that's an easy answer.
Yeah.
But if, as soon as you say, well, how many books you got? Are you writing it down? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's the winner get? It doesn't matter what the winner gets. The winner gets the win. It changes the dynamic.
Absolutely.
And so, and look, I'm all for being competitive. I want to have the best podcast in the world. I want to be the best real estate agent in the world. I want to be the best possible dad you can be. I don't blame him, but then when you're, okay, we're going to be competitive and we're going to be just dug in on this all the time. But then when you've got those pressures you're talking about coming in, now you've got parents chirping from the stands. Now you've got pressure being put on the coach. Like, hey man, this is Little League.
Yeah, a volunteer position.
Yeah, and now they're chirping at the ump. Well, he's volunteering too. Well, I mean, he's getting paid something, but I mean, I don't know if you watch South Park, but I do at times. And one of the kids' dads, Stan Marsh, and there's probably 15 years ago, there was a season where all he did was fight at Little League games in the stands, right? And because that's a real thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it is. It is.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, the parents get so jazzed up.
Yeah.
And a lot of these championship games in these travel baseball, they're late. It's 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock
Which is
at night.
why I'll talk to people who are like, oh, what time you get home last night? Oh, midnight, 12:30.
Right.
I'm like, on a Sunday, and then you're going to work tomorrow? Like,
Yes.
What time did you get to church Sunday morning? Oh, we didn't go because thing was out of town, which is a whole different story.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't go. Sometimes I go deer hunting or fishing. So I mean,
Well, that's okay. It's every now and again. But when you have a travel team playing every weekend and you're getting to the championship every weekend, now you're in a championship game at 9 o'clock. Well, you got parents that are jacked up on energy drinks, maybe had some adult beverages throughout the day.
You never know what's in that tumbler.
Yeah, exactly. and then there's a heated situation in the championship game that everything gets blown out of proportion. Crazy.
Yeah.
So again, the game has gone in a direction that I don't agree with. But the unfortunate thing is I don't know if it's ever going to be able to get shifted back. So real, and we'll just talk about baseball here. Okay?
Yeah,
Real
sure.
baseball guys have to find a way to try to shift that thing back a little bit. We're never going to get back to the day. Well, I don't want to say never. It could. But I think the likelihood is slim for us to get back to the day where rec baseball is the only baseball.
Which, I grew up in Dixie baseball.
Yeah, I did too.
And you knew the guys you played, and you knew the pitchers that were probably going to hit you because they couldn't get it over the plate.
That's right.
and that was to
Part
be
of it.
expected.
Yeah.
But we didn't travel the world for it.
Yeah.
And we weren't staying. Like I said, in our little league football, we hit some tournaments and stuff. But even once you get farther along in that, you don't play football tournaments because it'll hurt you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up in Dixie baseball, so that's what I haven't understood about the travel ball phenomenon. And I'm not trying to be disparaging
Right. No, for sure.
about it. I just don't understand.
Yeah. Well, and with rec baseball, you had all of these teams, call it 10 teams.
Yeah.
And at the end of the season, the coach that had the most wins, he was selected as the all-star coach.
That's right.
Okay. So
And then you got to
then you select your all-star team. So there was back in the day, there wasn't like, man, my kid should have been picked for the all-star team. It happened.
Yeah.
But it's almost like there is a difference of talent.
Yeah.
And this is the all-star team. They're going to represent the state of Arkansas. You know, I think I did it with all-stars 3 years when I was in the younger years. And they're going to go represent the state of Arkansas, and everybody else, the season's over. It's just part of it. Well, now, like, everybody thinks they're an all-star team. And then now it's like you think every team that's a travel team is this high-level kids, and it's not.
It's not.
No. And then what happens is you have people that are in it for the money.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the parents.
No, not the parents.
nor the
But
coaches.
you have people making bank off of the.
A lot of money. We live in a world today that a travel baseball tournament is a Saturday and a Sunday. There's no reason we should run these things out for 2 days.
Right.
But
even look at whether you're a fan of it or you're not. I don't know. I guess we're about to find out. But we don't, a lot of teams out of here, it's the air conditioner.
okay.
A lot of teams that I hear of travel out here, but even our own park just spent $8 million on fields. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was only 8 million.
And it was at least 8 million.
I expected more than that.
Yeah.
Well, we played out here last weekend, and it was a Mother's Day tournament, and we finished the tournament in one day.
Awesome.
Great. Guess what we got to do on Sunday?
Go to church.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's another whole side of it that we don't realize we're taking away from these kids and these families.
Right.
So I try to have a devotional for my kids on Sundays if time allows, and we're not traveling or something like that. But there's a piece of that that's missing, where the family that might go to church, that doesn't go to church every Sunday,
right?
But they might go to church on a certain Sunday. They never might go to church because they're playing travel baseball,
right?
So I mean, it's
justified. Well, we'll get there when it's off season, but now they're in off season with travel ball because now you got fall ball.
That's right. There's fall ball. Yeah. So it's a machine.
Yeah,
travel baseball is a machine, and they've done a good job to get it to where it's at. But man, there's a lot of flaws in it.
I mean, when somebody that I played with in high school that I consider a friend now that went on to play in college and just had so many issues from playing college football, just injuries and all, because they just got beat up. And I'll tell you that person offline, but
they're like, man, if these people would just take everything they're going to pay for travel ball and put it in a savings account every weekend, they wouldn't have to worry about their kid trying to pick up a college scholarship. And,
very good point.
And this comes from somebody who went to college on a college scholarship for football.
Yeah.
And they're like, they just don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I mean,
but once again, I'm not trying to be hard on the parents.
right.
I just look at what it's doing to the kids. I don't even get into all the, are they overusing their arm and all that. Other kids, they can recover, and stuff, all that stuff. I don't know anything about all that. So that's why I don't even bring it up.
Oh, I'll definitely get into that.
You're a pitching coach. So tell me about
well, I mean, for an example, USSSA. USSSA has a certain number of innings a kid can pitch on a weekend.
Okay, cool.
So that sounds great. Well,
unless it's like 100.
So here's what happens. There's now so many travel baseball teams. You have your dad that is wanting his son to play travel baseball. He starts a team, he coaches. He never played high school baseball. He never played college baseball. I respect the dad that wants to pour into that. Okay, I have no issues with it. But now you throw that dad into USSSA. Okay, they're in a tournament. They have a kid that's a really good pitcher.
You're saying USSSA.
Yeah.
So USSSA.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
I've seen the logo.
yeah, it's an organization. Yeah, it's a sanction, if you will, organization.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Everybody
Yeah, so we're playing under the USSSA rules.
Okay.
If it's a USSSA tournament, there's NCS 2D. There's all kind of perfect game.
Gotcha.
So you have a kid on this team that's a really good pitcher. Well, he throws 8 innings.
Yeah.
Well, they're not watching how many pitches he throws. Now he's thrown 250 pitches in 8 innings in 2 days. That's not good.
Yeah, your inning count doesn't matter if you're going for the cycle every inning.
Exactly. So if you're going 3-2 on every hitter and they're fouling off a couple of more, so now you're 8 pitches to each kid, 7 pitches each kid. Those things add up.
Yeah.
Is a kid going to know that he shouldn't be doing that? No.
He's bringing the heat.
100%.
No matter what you call,
Right.
he's giving it everything. He's got every pitch until you tell him not to.
Right. So now you have the parent sitting in the stand that sees that Johnny's doing a good job and they're just cheering Johnny on. Little do they know that that's doing damage to a kid's arm.
Yeah.
So those rules need to change. And of course, I'm hyper focused on that because I'm a pitching guy.
Yeah.
But we were in a tournament not too long ago. There were 2 kids that threw well over 100 pitches on the weekend. Well over. I'm not saying just north of
not
100.
101.
I'm saying just south of 200. Okay.
Golly.
And here's the problem. There's no repercussions to the coach for that.
Right.
Okay. And
Especially if he's just burning these kids up.
Right. So I get if this happens, the organization says, "Hey, coach, do you realize this happened?" Yeah. Oh my gosh, no, I did not. Don't let it happen again. If it happens again, we have set things that happen to you as the coach.
Yeah.
When that happens, there has to be repercussions to this, and you said it. These kids, they can recover. They're quick, but that is a load that's on them that doesn't need to be on them.
Not at 200 pitches. That's crazy.
So we have so many electronics nowadays. I look around here and see all of this.
Yeah.
We have a thing called Game Changer that keeps up with every pitch that's thrown.
Okay.
A parent's keeping up with it. All you got to do is look and see how many pitches.
Here's where we are.
Yeah. Go look at the previous.
It's not like
game.
somebody with a watermelon counter out there hitting
Right,
it,
right.
which is the way they used to do it.
Well, for us, there's a parent that keeps up with Game Changer, and then I have a coach that keeps up with the old school clicker.
There you go.
Okay. And I'm always asking him, "Hey, where's he at? Where's he at? Where's he at?" How many
Because you
pitches is
care
he at?
about your kids.
Absolutely. There's no win. There's 0 win at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 that is going to allow me to throw a kid 100, just south of 200 pitches. There's not. There's
There
not.
shouldn't be.
Because if you think about it, if I allow that, why am I coaching? I'm coaching for a win.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not coaching for that kid.
For the brotherhood we
Right.
talked about earlier.
Exactly. I want that kid to be successful, the team to be successful, but know that there's a line that has to be drawn before we get to a point where we hurt that child. And who's standing up saying this? You see it on the internet every now and again.
Well, I think, and I don't know, I'm not in this world. So, but just as an athlete that played Little League sports and not an idiot, which some people on the internet would argue with that.
I get the same thing.
Yeah, right. But when someone who's never played sports. And like you said, all good for you for wanting to coach that team. Good for you for wanting to get your kid involved. Good. I'm not being negative towards it, but you never have known, or maybe, you've never done the wake up, go to the gym in the morning, go do what you do, hit that lunchtime gym session, practice, and then sprints at night or whatever that which is a real schedule that a lot of people just have never experienced.
Right.
And they don't know that, and they don't know what recovery comes with that. And then you're not counting you're not making sure you're getting your supplements right. And you're not making sure because you're 10, 11, 12 years old, you shouldn't really have to be focusing on that. But if you're putting this load on and you don't know the recovery, you don't know the burn down on it.
That's right.
But you're just trying to do what's right. You don't know enough to know what you don't know, and it makes you dangerous.
Right. That's right. And when you talk, I ask kids, I get a new kid, and if it's an older kid, first thing I ask them, hey, what does your recovery look like once you get done throwing? Oh, I run a little bit. I'm like, what's your diet look like?
Yeah.
How much water are you taking in? How much sleep are
sure.
you getting? How much protein are you taking in? All of that stuff matters. And again, this has nothing to do with the parents, but even at 11 years old, if a kid throws 85 pitches over a weekend, there's still a recovery that needs to happen.
Right.
So here's an example. I had 2 kids this past weekend. I think both of them, 1 through 89 pitches and 1 through 85 pitches over the weekend. At practice yesterday, I had a lot of my kids throw live. Well, those kids didn't. Because I'm letting them rest.
Right.
Because I know they're going to turn around and pitch this weekend too.
Right.
So I'm just trying to reduce that load so we're not just sit there just over and over and over doing damage to the kid's arm.
Well, even as adults, like I said, I'm 40 and been losing weight since January, February, and enjoying it and getting back in the gym, and really have been consistent about being back in the gym. I used to love the gym. Like I said, that's why I know these workout schedules and do these things. I used to like to see how much heavy stuff I could pick up, and it was really good at that. And I'm built to bench press. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got with arms like you're not built to pick up that.
No, definitely not.
And so, but I reached out to one of my buddies who's a bodybuilder. I'm like, hey man, I'm getting older. Tell me what I need to be looking at in my numbers to boost this recovery. Well, if I know I need it, we have to be thinking about it for people that don't know they need it, which would be kids. And if you're looking out for them, then that's what you're doing.
Right. Well, and to that point, I would encourage any dad or mom that's coaching a youth team that doesn't quite understand it, put the pride aside and go find a guy or a girl that knows the game and ask them these questions.
Yeah.
I promise you, if a dad came to me and was like, hey, how do I need to handle my pitchers this weekend?
Right.
I would be more than happy to help him with that. Because again, if I help you, I'm helping the kids. That's what this is about. It's about the kids. So I mean, I'd encourage them, go find somebody. Don't just lean on the internet. What's the saying? It's
The Zach Rateliff Show is brought to you by Mortgage Financial in Texarkana, Exceed Health Clinic on Mall Drive in Texarkana, Elmwood Custom Goods, and Church on the Rock, Texarkana. That's churchontherock.org.
A school board in Houston got pushback for allegedly allowing books in libraries that are pornographic. At a board meeting, a woman read a library book called A Court of Silver Flames. It was so sexually graphic, she was warned that she was violating meeting decorum and was escorted out by police. How can a book that offends adult standards of decency be allowed in school libraries? I'm Pastor John Miller. Visit me at churchontherock.org.
Hold on, let me get it. Believe half of what you see and nothing that you hear, right?
Right.
That's the saying. I'm getting into the world of believe nothing that you see and nothing that you hear.
Especially on the internet. I mean, the internet can make a shark fly through the window now. I mean,
yeah, right. So, you're on the internet, you're trying to figure things out, which is great. But how many wrong directions can you go on the internet when you're trying to understand a kid's health?
Right.
So, I'd encourage somebody to go find somebody that's played the game that understands it and get the information from them.
Right. And not that you can't understand it from a knowledge standpoint even I'll use this as an example. I saw a clip, and I don't follow hardly anything baseball. I follow the Red Sox because that's our team as a family. But other than that, I don't I don't really pay attention to the pitching team. But I had a video this morning come across and it looked like that he was trying to say, and tell me if this is happening, that little league pitchers are now being encouraged to go to the 3/4 pitch, 3/4 arm overhead instead of directly over. And I'm like, I don't know why that would be the case.
Yeah.
And then it showed him doing it with baseball and football, and I'm like, I don't know why we're going 3/4 arm here, and I don't know why this guy's putting that out because that doesn't make sense in my mind.
Yeah, we're all going to have our different theories,
right?
You know,
and you're going to have your natural motion too, right?
You're exactly right. Yeah, when I'm working with a kid, and if his arm path, which the way his arm works to throw a baseball, is functional and it's moving good, I'm not trying to change that.
Right.
If there's a kid that like, we really got to fix this or you're going to blow out your elbow, that's one thing.
Yes.
But for the most part, it's the arms working the way that it needs to work. Let's look at the body and how the body's working. So it's not, oh, well, you throw here, let's go all the way 3/4. And next thing you know, let's try submarine. I'm like, what are we?
Why are we doing that?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Because and he wasn't calling it 3/4, but it was obvious from the video, and they had side by side. You're going from, I don't know what it's normally called, just regular over normal pitching to 3/4. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't think that's good for everybody.
Yeah. Well, and if you know enough about it, there's a spot that the arm needs to be to take pressure off of the elbow. And if you're throwing 3/4 and that arm gets laid back, this part of your arm gets laid back, it's putting a lot of stress on the UCL.
Because you're coming here, yeah.
Right. And the lower you get, if that arm gets into what we call layback sooner, it's putting a lot of stress on that UCL, which is your Tommy John.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you factor that in.
What's the same tendon you can hurt doing curls, arm wrestling somebody, playing tennis? That's your
right. Well, now you take a kid that's throwing that way and is successful by his line, the outings of how he's doing. You keep putting that over, mix in 150 pitches in a weekend, do that over and over and over. This kid's probably getting cut.
Do we have kids? Do we have youth athletes? Has Tommy John's gone up in youth athletes?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. There is a statistic out there that talks about, and I think I have it on my social media, the increase of Tommy John surgery in younger kids. And what's great here in Texarkana, I just blew out my bicep not too long ago, and Dr. Mitchell was the doctor that did my surgery. But he's a sports guy, and he is trying to bring awareness to this.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm glad there's somebody, and there may be more people. I forgive me if I'm forgetting anybody.
I'm sure there are.
Or I didn't mention you, but just a straight conversation that I've had with him, he's trying to help people understand how the arm needs to work to reduce these Tommy John surgeries. I mean, I know he's seeing these, I think they call it little league elbow, which is basically a stress of the UCL.
Really?
Which is
which is everything that we just talked about causes that.
Yeah. So it's I like that he's trying to do it, but he's one man, and I think there's some other guys kind of joined in with him trying to bring that awareness. But it's you got this competitive side and then this other side that's like, let's protect these kids, and it's like, let's win, let's protect these kids, let's win.
Which I hate to use the little red devil and the little angel as examples, but we all have, that's the whole competitive fun thing. Mm-hmm. And anybody that's truly competitive, if you told me, Zach, we're going to walk out here and we're going to see who can spit farther, and whoever does it gets free lunch. Me and you're going to do it. And
we're going to do it. That's right.
If you said, hey, how your legs feeling? Let's go out here and race. I know you would beat me, but I would probably stretch out and be like, give me 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and settle this, because that's just the nature of being a competitive person.
Right. Well, and here's the thing. I'm uber competitive. All right. I'll go ahead and say it. When I'm on the baseball field, I'm not friends. Okay. And that's if I'm coaching, and if I was playing. Okay. Now, I'm not disrespectful, but I'm a competitor. But you can be a competitor and still take care of your kids.
Yes.
So there is a balance there.
Well, and we'll tie that in here in a second. I can remember growing up, karate tournaments, basketball tournaments, especially when we got football, when we got real and started hitting the pads, and you flip that switch, and you hate the person across from you. You don't want anything nice for them in between those whistles.
Yeah.
Now, at the end, now I was never going to help you up off the field if you weren't on my team. I didn't care. Now, at the end, hey, good game, good job. You guys lost. I mean, most of the time they lost. you guys lost. Give them 5. Good luck. See you next time.
There we go.
Hope you don't get hurt.
Yeah.
It drives. I don't watch much NFL. Just I can't really handle it. It just doesn't look like the sport that I know. But I can't stand to see someone from the other team help the other guy up. It just makes me mad. And I know maybe that's bad sportsmanship and whatever. You are competing with that person.
Yeah.
And it just gets all over. Like, no, you don't like that guy. You can be friends after the game.
Yeah.
And would I would do that. But not during those 60 minutes or hour and a half or whatever.
And there's a lot of people that don't understand that. It's a balance. And I tell my kids at 11 years old, they understand that they are trying to beat you.
That's right.
That is what they want to do. And they're going to bring a level of energy to this game trying to beat you. We have to match that energy or do more. Okay. So and again, I had to learn that I learned it over the years.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to teach these kids that at a younger age so they can continue to be successful. My job is to try to get these kids ready to play high school baseball.
Right.
Okay. And I want them to be competitive and have knowledge of the game by the time they get there.
Yeah.
So but the competitive side is where people tend to think that, you're a diva or you're crying or, something like that. And it's not even that.
You don't have to do it.
Right.
Well, even, we've got a goal at the house, just basketball goal.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna go out there and we're gonna shoot and we're gonna do all that. But my daughter's 10.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do that. She's money from the free throw line. We'll play around the world. We can do the things. She gets 3 misses for an out where I get 2. Just things to prompt the game. But don't let and if one of our friends is over playing horse, we're all playing. That's fine. And then even if another dad comes over and we're all playing, don't start talking trash. Because this game from horse, I will put out both these girls, and then
it's going to be me and you,
and it has happened. Or even we have a goal still at my dad's house, and there was a couple Thanksgivings ago. Somebody's talking a little trash in the family. I'm like, let's go handle it real quick. I got you in a game of horse, and just all of a sudden and then it was fun again. Of course, it was real fun for me because when the winning shot fell,
that's right.
And they're like, there's a different level that you have to just be able to.
Right.
We can have fun, and we can be competitive, but don't
Yeah. Well, with Boston and Brixton, like I told you, she's 15 and he's 11. They know when we go outside and shoot hoops, I'm giving them no slack.
I won't lose to you in checkers. When my daughter was little and we played shoots and ladders, I didn't let her win that either. We have she has a Switch too, Nintendo Switch too. Well, it's got Mario Kart. People like us have been playing Mario Kart for 30 years.
Yeah.
She's like, Dad, you want to play Mario Kart? I'm like, yeah, we'll do that. She has not beat me yet.
Yeah. It's funny because Boston now he has my competitive spirit. Okay. Well, now I'm like, oh dang, because what he's doing is hey, let's go play 1-on-1 or let's go play horse.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to. I'm like, because you know you have no chance to win?
Yeah.
But again, that's something you're trying to instill in them that although somebody may be bigger, faster, and stronger, you still got to go toe to toe with them.
And they're going to respect you for it.
That's exactly right. And it's funny because I learned that my freshman year of college. Coach Deggs really helped me get past that kind of I don't want to say sheltered, like kind of stay back. I already told you I didn't like to hit people in football, right? But he kind of turned something in me to realize, hey, you can control this. When you have the baseball in your hand and you're standing on that island, you're in control of that game. So I'll tell you that the pitchers that I mimicked myself after, not mechanically but mentality wise, was Pedro Martinez and Roger Clemens.
Yeah, can't go wrong there.
Okay, so what did those guys do? If you're on top of the plate and you're taking swings that are too healthy, you're going to get brushed off. Yeah,
every time.
And but there's that mentality's built inside of me. So now the way that I coach my kids,
I get that driving sometimes too.
oh man, me too. Yeah, my kids.
That's why I don't have a Christian fish on my truck, because I'm like, I don't want to. I make myself look stupid. I'm not making Jesus look stupid.
Right. But it's I've told some of my parents how I learned how to play the game of baseball was there's no break. Okay. There's no sit down and let's talk about the strategic plan of doing all of this.
Let's go play baseball.
And it was like, I'm going to come after you hard. And if there's a chink in my armor that you start exposing, I'm going to come after you even harder.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would like to think that I was successful in that. So now I'm trying to teach my kids that.
Right.
And that, when your back's against the wall, and Coach Deggs always told us this, you got two options.
Yeah.
You can get beat up or you can go fight. That's your choice.
And you might still get beat up, but you were in the fight.
You're swinging. That's right. That's right.
That's it. So let me ask you this. So we've talked about there's a parent side to this little league thing. There's the competitive side, which I think it's good for everybody to have some competitiveness, because in the corporate world, you want to do it. In real estate, I want to be competitive for my client to either make them the most money I can or maximize their investment to the best I can, whatever it is. I look at everything. Well, just even like talking about going back to the gym, right? I have to motivate. Today sucked at the gym this morning. Like I didn't want to go. I just wasn't in the mood for it. But I'm going to go get my 30 minutes a day on the treadmill because I know that's where I need to be. This is the habit I'm trying to establish. I know what it takes to do that. And I didn't like it every step. I'm like, well, I could quit now and just go ahead and get out of here, go ahead and get a shower, nope, that's not what we're here to do. And I even broke it down. I'm like, all right, we'll call the first 10 minutes a warm up. Then we'll up the level for the next 10 minutes. That'll be my workout. Then we'll shut it down for the 10 minutes, and then that'll be a cool down. And then, you start negotiating with yourself.
Yeah.
And so you're just fighting your way through. But there's a lot to youth sports and all that you're learning to be able to tell yourself, all right, I've got 2 more Texas hundreds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've got 1 more gasser. I've got 1 more down and back. I've got 1 more. I can do it 1 more time. So there's that, right? And so part of me and the competitive side of that is, I know I'm overweight. I know I'm a big guy. But if somebody gets on the treadmill beside me, I instantly think, I bet they're thinking they can go longer than I can. And now this person's over here reading Harry Potter on their Kindle.
Yeah, right.
Like, they don't know. They have no idea that I'm in competition with them. I will look and see how fast you're going. And either I can do it or I can't do it. And then I will see what you set your timer to.
Yeah.
And that motivates me there's this guy I looked when he was on there. When I got on there, he's on there this morning. He was at 1 minute and 21
You're looking
seconds.
at another guy's dashboard too,
Yeah.
right?
I was like, he's at 1 minute and 21 seconds. And he got off at 25 minutes. I said, well, I got at least 30. Right? The other day I wound up going.
I understand the mindset though. I do. That's why I'm laughing.
The other day I went 39 and a half minutes. Why? Because the lady got on 9 minutes after I got on.
Yeah.
But I had to go. I just couldn't stand not going 30 seconds longer than she went.
Yeah.
Right. So there's that drive that some of us have and some of us don't. So, and some of the parents have that. And some of the coaches have that. And you're trying to instill that in the kids and also not raise them to be jerks.
Right. Exactly.
Because I've been called a jerk.
Yes.
So when you're rolling all of this into it, then there's the referees, right? Then there's the basketball referees and the football referees, or the
umpires,
the umpires in baseball. And I remember, one time, it was at Texas High. I was lucky enough. I worked hard enough to get to play varsity as a 10th grader, which
it's impressive. At Texas High, it's impressive.
but I remember one of the games, maybe it was the second game. I didn't get to go up the second game. And so, no, I didn't go up the second. Well, anyway, it was one of the games right before they just started bringing me up every week, right? And I remember the field, the line judge there on the defense, my shoe was untied. And I said, hey, man, I need 15 seconds to tie this shoe. And you talk about home field cooking, right?
Yeah.
And I looked at him, I'm like, don't take your hand off the ball.
He goes, man, you better be quick. And he just kept his hand on the ball while I'm tying my shoe. And the visiting team's like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
And so the referees, the umpires, the field judges, the whatever, they can really impact what happens in this game. And even like Bob Brueggemann, long time umpire, mayor of Texarkana, great guy. But then there's some of these guys that feel like they want to make a point sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't deal well with that. And just especially as a parent. So how do you overcome, especially if there's another team, their parents are chirping at you as a coach, and then maybe you don't agree with the call or the way something. How do you handle that?
I wish I had a perfect answer for this.
Yeah,
So
right.
all the things we've talked about up to this point, now you kind of put that into a nutshell of that situation presenting itself.
Yeah.
All right. And it happened to me last weekend.
Okay.
An umpire did not something with me. Something.
Right. Just didn't jive.
And I had a kid that struck out swinging, and he pointed at me and punched the kid out and stared at me.
So just for those listening, and listening to baseball is one of my favorite things to do. If I'm going to consume baseball,
it's nice.
the pitcher stares in, and he snarls at the batter, and the batter grips the bat a little tighter because he's going to, I like that's why I like baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you listening, if you know baseball, a punch out is when there's an exaggerated movement on a strike. And usually it's when somebody just goes down, doesn't even take a swing, and it's a big arm movement and a check them out of the you're out of here. It's what you see in the movies. That's a punch out, right?
You see it in the movies. Yeah, that's right. So,
not in Little League.
Yeah, and the key word in that was when there's no swing.
Yeah.
Okay. In this situation, there was a swing. The point came to me.
So the guy points at you.
The umpire points at me and then punches the kid out, takes off his mask and stares at me. The competitive juices are flowing. In me, right? It's I don't know, probably 9:00 at night. We've already played 4 baseball games.
Yeah.
So I go out and have a conversation.
Yeah.
And it was.
And let's say this: you're a grown man. You're a big grown man. I'm a wide grown man. You're a tall grown man. But as a grown man, there are certain unwritten rules as a man on things. If you come in and you lower your head to me, I lower my head to you, and it's hello and hello. If I look at you and point at you and take my sunglasses off, no matter where we are, you're gonna lean back and bow your chest a little bit. Now we're both sizing each other up.
Yeah. Well, and in this situation, that was my intensity. Was this is youth baseball.
Yeah.
This isn't minor leagues or major leagues.
Yeah.
We're held to a different standard in youth sports. We should be held to a different
absolutely.
standard. At the coaches' meetings before the games, the umpires lay down the rules and, here are the rules, right? Well,
and to be honest, I don't think most people know that they have those.
oh, yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely.
So everybody gets together.
Right. We talk about, hey, this is fair, this is foul. Haven't had any problems here, coach. If you have a problem, the head coach talks to me. The head coach, if it's balls and strikes, or don't argue balls and strikes. That's
Right.
what they
Especially
tell
in
you.
Little League.
Right. I never do. Maybe one time. But come to, so there is these rules that happen before, and then there's a level of respect too. You're shaking hands. You're kind of having
Because you're wanting to show all these kids that we're competitive, but it's fun.
Right, exactly. So when that happens, it kind of changed the temperature of everything. And
So he punches out, rips the mask off, points at you.
I go out and I don't cuss at him.
We're not one to cuss.
Right,
Just
so-
anybody that I've ever, I would know, I would not. If someone said, "Oh, Brian, we're not cussing this guy back," I don't believe you.
I mean, I'll tell you, there are some heated moments that happen,
But
and
just
it's-
in general, from what I know of you.
absolutely. 100%. Yeah, no, I'm not freely walking around.
If
saying
somebody's
swear words.
if somebody was like, Zach and Brian were hanging out and I heard a cuss word, I'd be like, oh, it was probably Zach.
Yeah. Man, so when I'm telling him, this is youth sports. We're held to a different standard here. If you have a problem with me, come to me.
Right.
And he did not throw me out of the game. The field umpire came and got me and went away. And well, through that whole time, I'm zoned in on that. And I'm not out there for me. I'm not out there for the win. I'm out there because you had a problem with me, but did you see the way that you punched that kid out? Like what you did that so aggressively because of me. And
how does that affect that kid? This is what's going on in your mind. How does it make that kid feel?
Right. So, it set on me all kinds of wrong. their team's yelling at me, which happens.
Yeah, I mean, because once again, you got the parents, you got the Stan Marsh out there fighting in the stands,
Right. And hey, and here's the thing, Zach. At the end of the day, it was a great ball game.
Yeah, okay.
It was a very good ball game. You know, in that situation, had nothing to do with their kids,
Right.
had nothing to do with their coach. The temperature changes. You know, some things start happening. Their coach says something to our fans, and that changes
Which
stuff.
is wild.
Wild. And, you know, I'm cooled off by that time. But what happens is a picture gets painted of me being a crybaby in that situation.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for me, fortunate for the internet, that the whole video was not posted.
Yeah.
The only video that was posted was me chewing out the umpire.
Right.
But there was no context to that.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Believe pretty much nothing that you see on the internet,
Yeah,
and nothing that you
sure.
hear. I mean, it's and Zach, I'll be honest with you. What turned into what was a small disagreement I had with an umpire turned into people blasting a picture of me and my wife on the internet and talking about my business, talking about the pants I was wearing. Like, this is the world that we live in today.
And so, and that's one thing that's even why I brought this story up. Just, you know, I do this every day. I put myself out there. I mean, the name of the show is called the Zach Rateliff Show. I expect that you know my name. I expect that you're not going to agree with everything I say.
Absolutely.
Okay. And especially I'm big on Jesus. A lot of people aren't. That you, anytime you talk about Jesus enough, people are going to bring heat to you. They're not going to like you. And then there are going to be other people that say, "Oh, you're stupid. You're just over exaggerating. Nobody's mean to Christians, right?" So, but there's two different kinds of hate you get from that. Well, then I'm also a conservative, and I'm going to talk about politics. I'm going to talk about that. And so then there's you're going to get hate from, and I'm overweight, so I get called fat every day. And look, you're not telling me something I didn't see in the mirror, baby. You know. But however, I just told you I'm in the gym every day now working on that. You know, you'll still be stupid, and I won't be fat at some point.
That's good.
But you know, so there's all of that. I expect to get talked about, but when you're out there coaching a team, you talk a heated conversation for a second. I watched the video.
Yeah,
I mean, for 15 seconds, it's real intense,
yeah.
And then everybody backs off. But then for somebody to put you on the internet, okay, I'll even give you that. But then to target your wife or your kids or your business. Hey, this is Little League sports. Yes. You're trying to ruin my life.
Yes.
You're trying to come after the way I put bread on my table, the way I pay for my kids' dreams and future, all over a Little League sports moment that you probably weren't there for. And if you were, you were completely misconstruing.
Yeah. Well, and the other part of that let's just be brutally honest here. Brutally honest.
Yeah.
The people that are sitting in the stands, I've probably forgot more baseball than they know.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Right.
Okay. I've been around the game for a long time. I studied the game. Okay. I've been
drafted by two major league teams.
I've been around very good coaches.
Yeah.
You know, that know the game. I watch, I've learned, I've been through a lot. I've been through adversity. I've been through winning championships. I've been through losing championships.
Right.
I mean, I've been through it. So there is a point where it's like, okay, maybe this guy knows what he's talking about.
Right.
And maybe I don't go tell people how to do their job that I know nothing about.
Yeah, no, I don't show up at the sewer facility and tell them what to do with that.
Yeah. So it's
no offense to the TWU. I mean, I like my water services.
Yeah, yeah. Which has smelled strong chlorine here recently.
They're doing it. Is it time for the summer water change?
Okay,
that could be. They do that in summer. They change the chemicals.
So, you know, there's that side too where it's like just chill out, you know. And when I argue a call, I'm arguing a call for the kid.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Right.
But it turns into this, oh, you're this and you're a crybaby, kick him out of here. Like, geez, I mean, I get if I'm making a spectacle over something, but I'm trying to.
You didn't pick first base up and run away with it.
Right. Throw the bucket of sunflower seeds on the field, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just the environment that we live in. And like I said, I mean, I'll be vulnerable. It's not easy to see that stuff about you on the internet.
No.
And I don't have social media. I have for my business and for the boys in baseball and my pitching lessons. But you see it, and then you know the best option is just to ignore it.
Yeah.
And then
which I was even questioning even bringing it up.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Well, but here's what's happened from that, Zach. It's been a positive experience on the back end because I do lessons up at Swing Lab here in town.
Where's that?
Pitching lessons. It's off of North Park Road, where the bridge that's probably never going to open up that goes over.
That's exactly right.
That goes over North Park Road. It kind of sits right down there.
It's on the left if you're headed towards the bridge.
It's on the right if you're heading towards Dallas.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about the same thing.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, I'm up there and of course everybody's seen this video. Okay. And I'm talking to these parents and they're like, hey, I don't even know what the whole video is, but I know you and I support what you did.
Right. Well, there's 15 people that are going to be real mad on these things. And there's keyboard warriors out there. And, and then everybody, not to be disparaging to those writing, but, a lot of us don't have time to worry about all that. So we're not the ones coming out.
Right.
I'm sure if it got bad, somebody like, hey, Brian's a good guy. I had defended somebody on the internet, and they didn't ask me to a couple of weeks ago. And then I had people in a meeting like, hey, why'd you defend that guy? I'm like, because I look up to them and they're my friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine.
So the positive was that there is some affirmation in there like, hey, you got upset, but I can understand why you did. Yeah. They know where my heart is when I'm on the baseball field.
Yeah.
My heart's not in the win. My heart's in the boys.
Yeah.
And I tell my parents this, when we're on the field, their sons, the 11 kids that I have, one of them being my son, their sons are now my kids. I feel responsible for every kid that's on that field.
Which is why you're running a pitch count, which is why you're making sure things are doing, which is why you make sure you're not hurting these kids, which is why you're asking about their diet, which is why you're teaching the camaraderie that comes with fellowship and brotherhood. Yeah. It's because you care, because you want them to be a good person.
That's right. That's right. I want them to be I want them to be a leader in the community. I want them to own their own business. I want them to have the grit that they can survive through the trials and tribulations of owning their own business or working in corporate America, and ultimately being a good husband, a good dad. Yeah. That's what we're supposed to do. It's the game is a piece of that.
Name your little league coach.
Oh, I had a lot of them. I had Terry Youngblood's a big one.
Oh,
my dad,
I know Terry.
My dad was involved. Terry Mosley.
Right.
So Coach Whiteley. I mean, I could just go through.
Coach Trotter, right? Mm-hmm. He was a football coach. LeGrand, big time in my life. That I can go through all these coaches because they made an impact on your life.
Right. Oh, well, Coach Youngblood, Terry Youngblood.
Yeah.
I'll go into his office and I still call him Coach.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Just like Denny Burdine with me, right?
Yeah.
He was, like I said, one of your high school coaches. He was my dad's high school coach at Hope, Arkansas, and then grew up crappie fishing. And I can remember making, but he was always coach. He's still coach. My daughter calls him Coach.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I hadn't seen Coach in a while. Yeah. Well, but he'll be over at the house or he'll be fishing. I called him on Tuesday. Or called Dad on Tuesday. What are you doing? He said, Coach and I are out here at Lake Bob Sandlin catching crappie. Mm-hmm. That's Coach.
It's crazy you say that because there are days that still go by that I think about Coach Burdine, Coach Toombs. Coach Toombs was a legend. You know,
is Arkansas High.
Right. Coach, Burdine, Coach Richardson. I mean, Coach Richard. He was my quarterback coach, and that guy, he cared. He's still at Arkansas High coaching.
Right.
He cared about the kids. He pushed us. But I promise you, if we needed somebody to take our back, he was going to do it.
That's right.
So, I mean, the coach is such a pivotal time in a kid's life. As parents, you got to be careful who that is. Who is that guy that's going to coach or woman that's going to coach my kid?
That's exactly right. I can remember after coming out of the hospital and being in a coma in high school and stuff, I remember my dad telling me Barry Norton, came up there and checked in. All the coaching staff came up there and checked in. And, because by all accounts, I was going to die. And but then as I came back to school, we knew I wasn't playing anymore. I just had a severe brain injury, a traumatic brain injury, with 100 eggshell skull fracture. Like you weren't saddling up to tackle somebody,
right?
But still, the example those guys still set for me. Hey, you're still one of the captains here. You're still allowed in this field house. You still ride the defensive bus. You still come to the meetings. You're still expected to do. You're still part of this.
Right. Yeah.
That's what a coach does, from little league to high school to college to all of these things. But that's what so when you're trying to model that, yeah, you're going to get fired up if somebody punches a kid out that doesn't deserve to be punched out.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, for your business, your wife, your family to be attacked.
Yeah.
People just need to get over themselves.
Right. Well, and you've already said it. Like, I mean, don't we have bigger things to worry about?
Yeah.
Than trying to create some, my wife just read me a post that somebody made not too long ago, and it said, when you're posting something on the internet, are you looking for basically people to get frustrated, or are you trying to find a solution?
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what she said, but it was really good. So that video I've posted of me.
She talked to me about this same post on Wednesday at church.
Yeah, right. So it's like, when you're posting that video, are you trying to get people to jump on board to smear this person? Or are you trying to find a solution to coaches blowing up on umpires?
Right.
Or
umpires making stupid calls.
Right. So if it's the latter of that, of coaches blowing up on umpires, now you got to get the whole story.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the whole story is going to now kind of switch gears. And okay, now how do we hold these umpires more accountable?
Right.
And that's a whole nother side of the game. These umpires, man, they're getting put through the ringer, man.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's nice to them.
No, nobody.
And perfection is expected. Like, you don't expect perfection of yourself at any point of your life. You want this guy to be 100% on every call?
Yeah.
No, that ain't.
And they've been at the field since 8 o'clock.
Right.
Okay. And it's 95 outside.
It's 95 and you're on the dirt and it's hot.
Yeah.
And
they're exhausted.
And nobody bringing you onion slices or orange slices.
Right. Now, I'm saying all of that, not saying that I cut them slack all the time.
Right.
But I mean, there are times I tell my kids, like, Coach, that ball's outside. He's calling strikes outside. I said, I've been playing baseball a long time. I've never convinced an umpire to call a strike a ball.
Yeah.
So you're just going to have to learn how to hit it. That's
just deal with that and make the swing, baby.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, cool, dude. Well, man, I've enjoyed this. Just wanted to kind of get to talk about it. I enjoy talking sports. I enjoy talking youth sports. It's not what I do a lot, but sometimes I get tired of talking about what I talk about.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
If anybody wanted to get more information with Swing Lab or your pitching lessons or anything, how would they find you?
Swing Lab's pretty easy to be found on social media. Randall Glass and Cedric Harris is the creator of Swing Lab. So if you find Cedric Harris, you're going to find Swing Lab.
Okay.
For my pitching stuff, it's Pitching with Brian. That is there's social media. You can find it on there. And again, all my other business is Barr Roofing.
Yeah.
And then I also work for Blake Rich up at Heritage Home Health and Hospice, and all of that obviously can be Googled and found.
And I'll try to tag you when I post this show
awesome.
On there. So anyway, Brian, man, I appreciate you.
Yeah, dude, it's a great time. Thank you.
All right, everybody. I hope God blesses each and every one of you today.